Hello, I'm Lisa Turner, and welcome to Unusual Answers to Everyday Questions. Channeled from my guides, No1Guide. No1Guide is a highly evolved stream of consciousness. They've never lived before, and they're not dead people. Now, I don't ask you to believe anything in this presentation. Just listen to the answers, and you decide if the information is useful to you.
And we are here. We're here to answer your questions. And the first question is from Sarah, which is about dying. Why she experiences many people dying and death being very prevalent. And she asks, what is happening in the universe that so many people are dying? So in order to answer this question, we would share a little of the change that is happening in consciousness across your planet, because this will give you the understanding that you need in order to comprehend death. So as Lisa has already explained, we desire to incarnate, and at this time it is not that there are many souls, it is that the desire to be in human form is very great, because at this particular time on your planet, the possibility for evolution in human form is great. And so source energy desires to be present in human form. Source energy requires this in order to evolve, and source energy wishes to evolve itself. And a question that some have asked is, why does source energy wish to evolve? Why does it wish to know itself? And the answer to this is because it can and because it does. It is simply a self-exploration for source. And so why is death so prevalent? Well, at this time when so many people desire to incarnate, and it is this. In certain human forms, in certain beings in human form, the evolution that is possible within that form has reached its conclusion, that no further evolution is desired by that form or possible in that form, and at which point death takes place. For as long as evolution is possible, either for people around them or for the individual themselves, that being will remain present. And at some point in time, the evolution reaches its conclusion, at which point evolution will continue greater, will be accelerated if this being dies. And so death is important right now, because those who are left, those who remain alive on the planet, observing death, and it is interesting that as you observe death, you evolve. You evolve by asking these very questions. And because you are source energy, you enable source energy to evolve by observing death. So by observing death and the experiences of death for those around, for those who knew the person who has died, by observing their experiences, by experiencing it yourself, you create evolution, you enable evolution, you enable an expanded understanding. Questions are asked. Any time when there is a significant event in your life, questions are asked. And at this point, one of two things happens. The ideal, the situation that we enjoy the most, that gives us the most pleasure, is that people begin to ask different questions. They ask questions that create expansion. They ask questions such as, what does this mean? What does this mean for me? How can I recover from this? How can I become more than this? How can I overcome this situation? How can I rise above it? Questions that expand. How can I deal with this in a way that brings me more love and more enlightenment and more understanding? And the other situation that seems to occur is that people take another option and they contract. And they ask questions that limit them. And they not even so much ask questions, but as make statements and judgments. This is wrong, this is bad, this should not have happened. This is undesirable, and they resist it. And this resistance of energy within them, this resistance of knowing and knowledge and understanding blocks evolution, blocks expansion, and creates contraction. And they ask limiting questions such as, and in all of your lives, you will ask limiting questions. And limiting questions are ones that come that the only way you can answer your own question is to limit yourself, is to become less than infinite. Questions such as, why does this happen to me? Why can I not overcome this? The only way you could answer the question, why can I not overcome this, would be to answer it with a statement such as, because I am not capable. Whereas if you were to ask the question, how can I overcome this? The only way you can answer this is in a form that would create expansion. And this is why the phenomena, the training, the studying of linguistics and language is so powerful, because language is so powerful. Language creates expansion and creates contraction. And so to answer the question, why is death so prevalent? It is so prevalent because people wish to expand. People who wish to remain in human form, observing death, wish to expand. Some will inevitably contract. And this is the way. This is always the way. And the invitation to those who are expanding, observing those contracting, is to remain out of judgment of those. To simply say and observe, they are contracting. Without judgment. Simply observing it. And noticing it in contrast to yourself if you are expanding, and notice that I am expanding. This creates expansion in me. And please understand that this has nothing to do with the emotions you might feel around death. You might feel sad for the loss of the personality of the individual, and yet still feel expansion at your own evolution as a result of that death. And at this time of rapid evolution, for you as a species, evolution is heightened. There are some who would move into the contractive mode of being, who do not desire evolution, who do not require it, who resist it, who fight it. And they will be the ones, in many cases, who choose to die, because they do not wish to evolve further. And this is entirely due to the restrictions in their neurology. We have spoken.
You've been watching Unusual Answers to Everyday Questions. If you have a question for No1Guide, go to www.psychacademy.co.uk. Join our newsletter, email us, let us know what you think.